America is the land of the fatal divide. Right now, America is the land that is making a virtue and it's making itself a laughingstock as the country that simply cannot make up its mind. The Republicans and the Democrats are acting like the two different frat houses in Animal House. And they feel that their only reason for existing is to defeat each other. This is very similar to the Chinese thing, where the Chinese felt that they were so far on top of the world, so far beyond anybody else, they didn't have to pay attention to anybody else whatsoever. They could, to use a popular expression I don't like to use, they could dick around, just battling each other forever. And there would never be a problem. Never in the world. Well, the Republicans are acting as if we don't have a country to run here. All we really got is to defeat the Democrats. Now, Mitch McConnell, who is a tremendous, terrific, compelling orator, and one of the stupidest, most rotten people I have ever seen in my life, who is his only competition is John Boehner, who doesn't have his oratorical skills, but is worse, is even sleazier. Mitch McConnell told us at the very beginning of the first Obama administration that the Republicans had only one purpose for the next 4 years, and that was to make sure that Barack Obama was a one-term president. He did everything in his power to undermine everything in this country, everything, because any failure, he figured, could be laid at the feet, blamed on Barack Obama. Any failure, no matter how obvious it was that the Republicans had caused it. And it didn't work. Guess what, Mitch? I got news for you. You lost the election for the presidency after Barack Obama had been president for 4 years. And guess what? The lesson didn't sink in. So Mitch McConnell has continued the strategy of turning Barack Obama into a one-term president. Guess what, Mitch? It's term number 2. Pick another strategy. And apparently Mitch feels that if he blows it in enough areas for this nation will continue to blame it on the Democrats, thus voting in a Republican House, a Republican Senate, and a Republican White House. So the Republicans can do what? Do what they've done for the last 8 years at that point? Show us they can blow it all over again? That they are masters of deliberate demolition? Well, here's how it actually works. Remember, Ronald Reagan told us that government is not the solution, government is the problem. So if government is the problem and you can make everything come to a halt, you can paralyze everything in Washington, D.C., hey, you've made this a better country. You've stopped the problem. Right? Is Mitch right? Apparently not. The economy is getting better, but that's because things like the Fed continue to fiddle around. The housing prices, which are considered a good thing if they go up at this point, are going up. I'm not so sure that's a good thing. People are paying huge amounts of rent. There are several things that are happening despite Mitch McConnell's deliberately fucking up. We could say that Mitch McConnell has proven his point, that if you stop government dead in its tracks, things can indeed get better. But you know my position. I'm a committed Democrat. I have my prejudices. I tend to think that Mitch is wrong, and I tend to think that if you bring us to a dead halt, the way that China came to a dead halt after it sent out the missions of Cheng Ho from 1405 to 1435, decided it was on top of the world and would never have any competition whatsoever, and decided to shut its gates and continue with business as usual, and then was carved up by the Chinese. It's my impression that if we don't continue to make progress and continue to try to solve our problems actively, we will have little things happening like the kinds of things that happen when you don't let government do anything. We've had bridges collapsing. We've had an entire community wiped out by a tornado. Well, there's no way government's going to be able to control a tornado, but if government had required safe rooms in schools, in hope Would 21 kids be alive today? Yes, Mitch. 21 kids would be alive today because the problem sometimes solves some problem.